Hi, I'm Joni Patry, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, today I want to talk about the Kala Sarpa Yoga in terms of that it's happening right now and what it means for all of us. And even if you have it in your birth chart, what does that mean? Kala means time and Sarpa means serpent, so it's a time serpent yoga. And what it is, it's when all the planets that are visible to the naked eye, so in other words, the three outer planets are not included in this yoga. It's when all the planets are trapped in between Rahu and Ketu. So in other words, they must be on one side, and that is the planets, considering the sun, the moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn, all on one side of Rahu and Ketu. Rahu and Ketu are the nodes of the moon, and they're always exactly opposite. And when they come together with the sun and the moon, that's when we have eclipses. But these are points in the heavens where the moon, well, really, it's the point where the moon crosses the ecliptic of the sun, which is the path of the sun around the earth, where the moon crosses it going up is Rahu, where it crosses it going down is Ketu. Anyway, these points in space are really important in terms of understanding your destiny, who you are, what your life is all about. Sincerely, these are points that represent our past, our present, and definitely our future. Ketu can represent our past, and Rahu can represent our future. They are imperative to understanding in astrology. And they're so important that they cause eclipses. And really and truly what they are is when the sun, the moon, and the earth all align. This is where it comes together, Rahu and Ketu. So getting beyond that as to what this can mean for us, let me take a moment to tell you what Kala Sarpa actually means, time serpent. It means when you're trapped. It means a karmic destiny of someone that may be trapped in a certain karma, and their life you have to go through something in order to learn the lesson that you brought with you previously to learn in this life. So you're entrapped in certain karma. That's what it means. And you know, if you have a Kala Sarpa Yoga and you show your chart to somebody in India, they freak out. They act like, oh my God, this is like, you're doomed. It's not true. As a matter of fact, the Kala Sarpa Yoga is this great intensity, and it does mean there's a certain karma to be played out. But it's not always bad. But I will say this, people that have the Kala Sarpa Yoga, their life has extremes. And like I've said to so many of my clients, if you told people about your life, they probably wouldn't believe you, or that you're exaggerating intensely. But it's not true. That's the kind of life that people with this yoga lead. Let me give you some examples. Sylvester Stallone has it. Paul McCartney has it. Who else? Michael Milken has it. George Bush Jr. Has it. Christina Onassis had it, and her daughter Athena. These are all people that their lives are so radically extreme, and the person that I think will help you understand it all the more is Donald Trump. Here's the deal. When you have a Kala Sarpa Yoga in your birth chart, it means your life has highs and lows that are extreme. But generally, when you hit a low, you rise to a much higher position. And I think all of you will agree that that did happen with Donald Trump. I mean, he made one of the biggest comebacks ever, from the first presidency to the second. That's Kala Sarpa Yoga. I'm serious, that's what it does. So because it deals with extremes, and let me give you another rule with this. Some people say that if you look at the degrees of Rahu and Ketu, that there's planets on the inside or the outside of where they are, that it's not a Kala Sarpa Yoga. My belief and understanding from experience is that if you have planets in the same sign as Rahu or Ketu, it's still the Kala Sarpa Yoga. But here's the most interesting thing about it, and this is going to show you how it affects the world as we are in the plays of a Kala Sarpa Yoga, which we are right now, because all the planets went on one side of Rahu and Ketu February 23rd. So we're in it right now. Venus is the planet that will break the Kala Sarpa Yoga when it goes into Virgo. That's where it's going to break it. And actually, this is August 1st. So I originally thought it was July 4th, but no, it is August 1st. So here's the thing, from February 23rd, 2026 to August 1st of 2026, that day the Kala Sarpa will be broken. Okay, so what does this mean? Here is the interesting thing about it. Every 2 weeks, when the moon goes into the signs opposite where all the other planets are, it essentially, they say, will break the Kala Sarpa Yoga, because you don't have all the planets on one side of Rahu and Ketu. But my experience is, it's almost worse. Because what happens from the time period that the moon breaks the Kala Sarpa Yoga, in other words, all the planets, including the moon, are on one side of Rahu and Ketu for 2 weeks. Then the moon will break that cycle and go outside of where Rahu and Ketu are, and it's traveling by itself away on the other side of the Kala Sarpa Yoga. So a lot of people say, well, it's not a Kala Sarpa Yoga. But when we're looking at the Kala Sarpa Yoga in terms of how it's affecting our world, yes, the whole period time from, I want to say, February 23rd to August 1st is contained within the Kala Sarpa Yoga, but 2 weeks at a time, when the moon comes out and sort of breaks it, it gives us the vision to see the entrapment. Because what is the moon but the light? The moon is the reflective energy of the sun, and as it comes into the lunation phase, such as the full moon, it will give us light, give us sight into the entrapment that we're involved in. And that's why when you're in these period times of Kala Sarpa Yoga, everything seems to happen really quickly. And there's so many things happening. It's like from 1 week there's this calamity on the news, and then the next week there's another one, and then the next week there's another one. And no one knows what's going on. But then when the moon comes out to shed light on what the entrapment is, when it's outside of the Kala Sarpa Yoga, this is when we can see what's going on. So I want you to be aware that the Kala Sarpa Yoga is so interesting in terms of when it's happening in world affairs, it will give us the message of where we're trapped. And yes, the Kala Sarpa Yoga will bring a period of time where there's certain karmas the world must play out. And during this particular time was the incredible bombing that was so palatial of Iran, this attack on Iran. So this is some old karma that's come to pass, it's come to surface, and we're trapped in it. And every time the moon comes out by itself, away from all the other planets, we can better see what's happening. But when the moon returns back into the entrapment for 2 weeks, that's the most crucial, difficult time. And then you get a break every 2 weeks to sit back and look at it and go, ah, that's what that meant. That's why we had to go through that. And that's what will eventually be seen. So that is so important to recognize. And here's another thing. The moon being all by itself, away from all the other planets, is called an isolated moon. And if you have an isolated moon in your birth chart, you know you feel isolated. You feel alone, isolated, unsupported, emotionally. And that's what the world's going through. This isolation, this introspection, and this realization through seeing what's been going on. And we can use these time periods when the moon separates from the Kala Sarpa Yoga to see things clearer. But I will let you know, an isolated moon is not a good moon because it's by itself and the moon needs to feel support. Now, when I'm looking at mundane astrology, in other words, astrology for the world, the moon represents the public and the masses. So while it's by itself, on the other side, people feel disconnected, unrelatable. They are not in a good place. They don't feel secure and supported. And that's what you're going to see each and every time. The events happen crazy for 2 weeks, then it's a time to reflect and look back at it and understand it. And then it goes back into another phase of entrapment, of karma that has to be processed. So I want to say all of the war and the violence and things that have been going on, this was all part of a karmic entrapment that we had to go through from the past. And once the Kala Sarpa is broken by August 1st, there will be a huge relief. You will see, you will better understand the extremes of the entrapment of karmic issues with the Kala Sarpa Yoga. So with that, I think I'll close. If you would like more information on me and you would like a reading, you would like to sign up for my free newsletter, go to galacticcenter.org. While you're there, check out my Patreon group. That is a spiritual community you're going to want to be part of, as well as my Galactic Planner. If you haven't tried my Galactic Planner, now is the time to jump on because you're going to get huge breaks in price if you join now, because it's about to go on the App Store and it will be unbelievable what it's capable of doing. Wait till you guys see where this is going. You are going to be so excited. And those of you that already have it, you are lucky because we're going to give you some lucky breaks as an honor for supporting us for as long as you have. So with that, thank you. And one last thing, if you want to become my student and study Vedic astrology, go to my university, universityofvedicastrology.com. Thank you.